There. Okay. Tri-City Sports Now is coming back with the happiest sick man in the Tri-Cities. He picked up what I guess I had and what my family has come down with and all this what's going on in the area. But he's a happy man because his basketball team has won 10 in a row. I'm talking to Steve Forbes. But you haven't been the only person that's under the weather. I know that you had a couple of players go down with injuries in your 16-point victory against Western Carolina. What is the latest on the injury status of those two players?
Well, they had X-rays came negative, so that was a good sign. I think they're just really sore and kind of beat up right now. And I thought our team was a little tired on Saturday, and so the day off yesterday was good. And we'll get back at it today.
Bo Hodges, I know that was a big one towards the end of the ball game, but you're looking at him being, I guess, is it day-to-day for Bo Hodges and company?
Bo's been kind of day-to-day since we started league play. He's missed a lot of practice. He's had some nagging injury, and so he's been pretty much day-to-day anyway, and that's the way it'll stay with him for probably the rest of the year. And the deal with man is he's just got to get through the pain, and he's able to probably practice, probably not 100% today, but he can at least be out there.
Well, let me ask you a question. I know that one player, I was reading a little bit about it online, that hasn't played so much, but Overstreet, I believe. Would he be coming back into the lineup anytime?
Probably not in the lineup. I mean, Carl, we thought he tore his ACL, which he did in early November, and was going to have surgery, and then opted not to, and came back to practice on last week, and he's been doing a good job. I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but he'd have to come from a long ways back now. He's missed an awful lot. We're in a pretty good role right now, but that doesn't mean he couldn't work his way in there, but I think it'll be hard.
No, I want to go back to your victory against Furman. That was a big victory. This was the first time the Bucs had won in Greenville since 2004. DeSonta Bradford with the last second shot to win it. But what I saw in that game was that you were able to win without a lot of scoring from your centers, from your big men underneath and all this. Did you feel that this victory, the way it occurred, made you a complete team in that you were able to win without a big offensive numbers from your centers?
Yeah, I think we've had some games like that this year where, our guards have led us in scoring and our bigs haven't scored as much. I think anytime you can have great balance, that's always, a great thing. And, Furman did what a lot of teams, try to do is, they try to take something away. They tried to take away the inside, and that left us open shots, and they made enough to beat them. And, it's interesting. A lot has been made of us not winning down there since 2004, but I don't know the answer to this. I go back and question how many times we played them down there.
Yeah, that's a good point. There's about a handful. What is it, 3 or 4 or so?
I just didn't want to make it sound like, oh wow, Furman's been dominating ETSU and down there, when the reality of it is, I had one there as the head coach, because I've been the head coach, and I made that pretty clear, but it came out like 2004, and I was like, well, we got out of SoCon. We weren't even in SoCon, so I don't know how many times they've even been traveled down there to play in the last 10 or 12, 15 years.
It was not a common opponent in the ASUN days, so that is a good point. In fact, a lot of times when I'm saying about football, I will say something like 36 seasons, 47 years. So you make a very good point right there. And for that matter, I can recall some media around here going crazy that in the first time in the 100-year history of Wrigley Field, Johnson City's Daniel Norris was the first American League pitcher to hit a home run in Wrigley Field. How many times were American League pitchers batting in Wrigley Field? They didn't have interleague play for 100 years. Come on,
Growing up in the Midwest, I can tell you that not many, because first of all, they didn't make the World Series. They're in the National League, so yeah.
Let's see. We're talking to Steve Forbes. He's the head coach of the ETSU Bucks, and he's joining me even though he's under the weather. So I'll keep it. I'll keep it to a couple more questions here. I want to ask you though. These last two games have been low scoring. Has that been by design?
I don't think by design. I think just the way it plays out, Marky. Some of the teams, sometimes tempo has a lot to do with that. And I think that, the two teams that we just played, took the ball deep into the shot clock. And I think some of that has to do with our defense. We're pretty hard to score on. And so that probably has a lot to do with it. It was just the fact that, the tempos of those games weren't very up-tempo.
Okay. The next thing I want to ask you is just your thoughts on Mercer coming in. Jordan Strawberry and company. I know that earlier this year, I believe you had a victory over them, a nice victory. But tell me a little bit when they come in. I know that you leave most of the scouting of the other team to your assistants, and you put the preparation on your own team, if memory serves. But what have you learned? Have there been any changes about Mercer since the last time?
Well, Mercer plays pretty much the same way they've always played. They're going to change defense once you play, man on makes or man on misses and zone on makes. And they're going to try to half court, maybe three-quarter court pressure. Just do some different things to try to keep you off balance. Run a lot of half court sets, a lot of ball screens. They've had an injury like a lot of teams. Rion Holiday was their lead scorer, didn't play in the last game. I don't know if he'll play or not, but sometimes teams rise to the occasion too on those type of things. Sometimes those things are funny how they work. So I don't think they've changed a whole lot. Bob's been coached a long time, Coach Hoffman. He does a really good job, and I can't see him change too much.
Okay. Well, now I know you've been feeling sick, so let me ask you the question that may actually. I'll leave this right here with the question that actually might make you even feel even worse. But the national poll came out, and I'll be telling it to my audience here in our next break. But ETSU, I don't think you expected to be getting others receiving votes, but you didn't. But my question is, if you had been able to hold on to the 22-point lead against Xavier, do you think you might be right now contending for a national ranking?
Sure, probably. We get some votes. Yeah, I think we would have gotten some votes. No question. If we beat Xavier, I don't think we'd be ranked, but I think somebody out there probably would have voted for us just based upon this, the amount of wins we have, and then that win over Xavier. I think, especially on the road. I do think that we probably would have, and that's the unfortunate part of losing that game.
Well, I got to tell you something. You're an old Iowa guy, so I know you're familiar with the cold weather and all that. But get healthy. Ginger ale worked a lot for me this weekend, along with eating a ton of berries. Berries, yes.
I'll try anything right now.
For my ginger ale, berries. And if you ever want to give yourself the cinnamon gum is my other cinnamon gum. Yes, cinnamon. The Chinese have known that cinnamon has been a cure for colds for centuries. There you go.
I'm on it.
Okay, I'll tell you stories about that some other time. Steve Forbes, thanks for joining me when you're feeling under the weather. We'll be back with that AP poll after this on Tri-City Sports Now.
News, Livewire 1039, NBC Sports Tri-Cities, and True Design Company are now hiring experienced radio sales and staff. Who wouldn't want to sell for the two most listened to radio formats in the United States? And with me and Kevin. Get on the jet to success. Contact us at 735-7888. Jet Broadcasting Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Learning where your DNA comes from with 23andMe.com might just inspire you to explore your connection to the world, like Kate. 45% of Kate's DNA is from the British Isles, so she took a little bike trip through Scotland. And 10% of her DNA is from North Africa, so she paid a call to Morocco. Order a DNA kit with 23andMe.com today and let your